Hello friends, welcome back to War 9. Yes, 9, since we were stupid and skipped War 8 by accident. Oh well. Today we're taking on 111. You can see we have dropped down pretty far into Gold 1 now. It seems unlikely that we are going to climb our way back out before the end of the season. So let's see what happens today. We're taking in Void and Sparky and Symbiote Supreme. Alright, in Tier 1 we have... Well, it looks like nobody in Tier 1, so let's go up to Tier 2. Okay. Alright, so Path 1 in Tier 2, we have a Mr. Sinister. This is on Recovery, Vigor, Indomitable. Pretty much doesn't matter who's on this node and the next node. I will always use Void, because even though you can't reverse the healing, being able to heal block is really the only way you're going to beat some of these fights, especially a fight like Mr. Sinister, who has natural immunity to healing reversal. So get a little lucky here, get one Petrify up right away. You can see the Vigor node is pretty much still healing him back up to full for the moment anyway, and that's because the Recovery node is adding so much on top of it that it's just giving him a ton of health. So he's being real stingy with a special one here. Come on, dude. Throw it. You know you want to. Meanwhile, another Vigor has procced. He's back up to full health, but, I'm not really worried about it. The degen will get him eventually. Everybody falls to the degen. Alright, so now we have 2 Petrifies up, plus a couple other debuffs. So rather than his healing being reversed, it is merely blocked. So you can see he is not proccing any regen from critical hits, and you can see that the Vigor node is also healing him because with Fear the Void, the healing is, let me think here. So with Fear the Void up and no other debuffs, you get minus 100% to your regeneration. But because of the Recovery node, he has plus 200%. So without additional debuffs to contribute to the heal block, that is why you saw the Vigor regen actually healing him with Fear the Void up. This was a similar, not issue maybe, but a similar experience during the EQ where Mr. Sinister was the boss, where it seemed like no matter how many debuffs you could put on him, you couldn't really stop his healing altogether. But nevertheless, the degen ticks him away and down he goes. Alright, next up we have a Gulk on Recovery Buffet, Indomitable. So again, kind of same concept. This is only a 455 Gulk, so I'm not really worried about it. So the real only things to worry about when you fight him is that when you're baiting specials, you kind of have to glance up to the corner, and if you see the little yellow fist icon, you cannot punish the special attack. Because he will go unstoppable and he will, beat you to a pulp. So there, the little yellow icon showed up, so I had to parry his next hit. When I fight Gulk, I typically ignore Crowd Frenzy. I realize that it gives, all attacks smash, but it's for such a short period of time that, trying to work around it, I feel like you waste more time working around Crowd Frenzy than you do actually just waiting it out. So he is heal blocked now since I have enough debuffs up. You see the heal block went away as soon as some of the other debuffs dropped off, but as soon as one comes back, then the regen rate is below 100%, so he's heal blocked again. Other than that, it's just a standard fight with Gulk. He won't get the regen since he's not duped. I get a nice little attack bonus. And boom, there he goes. Alright, we are up on Boss Island now. This is a Sabertooth mini on Recovery Strike Back. So somebody went in before me. You see he has 4 persistent charges. I think somebody went in with a ghost and tried to nuke him down with like a special 2. And it did not work. It did not work out, so... I came back in, so that's why when you see the attack bonus at the end here, it's not a full attack bonus because somebody else had died to him before me. So I'm getting a little bit better, I think, with fighting Sabretooth in terms of managing the power. I think previously, not just Sabretooth, but on this node in general with Strike Back, um, when I first started fighting against this node with Void and War, I think that I would pretty much not throw specials at all unless they were close to empty on power. But I've kind of gotten a feel for how much power is going to be given with either no petrifies or one petrify. So I've become a little bit more freewheeling, I guess, with the amount of power that I can give. And of course now I've got a petrify plus Fear the Void. He's actually going to be losing power from the special attack instead of gaining it. So you can see all the his healing is reversed at the moment. So all of the little passive regens are ticking away at him, and down he goes. All right, so that was pretty much it. Usually I don't include boss action, but so this Medusa boss was about 50% health, maybe 45-ish, and I had a good counter. Didn't even boost because she was already half dead. I find that when you go with a Symbiote Supreme, who should be a really good matchup for Medusa in general, and in this node in particular, that if you don't get a lot of stagger RNG, you're really going to have a bad time. At least until it's kind of a race, can you outlast Living Strands from proccing until you get to your special 3. And in previous fights against her, sometimes you get the staggers, sometimes you don't. It makes it a little bit more difficult on this boss node because the adaptive node is giving her buffs every few seconds in addition to the furies that she's naturally producing. So you have to really proc a lot of stagger. So I had the same problem there where it wouldn't let me dex out of her special 1. I don't know what's happening there. So I bait out the heavy, come back in with a heavy intercept, and really, the bleeds are just, whittling her away. I get another S3 here, kind of waiting for a couple more buffs maybe, and she will be pretty much dead after this. So really, if I hadn't taken that crap S1, this would have been a pretty quality fight. Managed to avoid the S2 there, which almost never happens, and then down Medusa goes. So, I get a boss kill. It's only half a boss, so it doesn't really count. I'll leave that up to you to decide. So, our descent into madness continued with this war. We seem to be setting new records for death count every war. I think we nearly hit 100 in this one. It's frustrating. It's deflating, but we keep at it. See what we can do. That's about it, I think. Didn't have to use any potions this war, which is nice, but we did lose, so it really doesn't matter one way or the other. So, thanks for watching, and see you again next time.